So after 11 weeks of being in a lockdown, finally I was able to go to Georgetown, which is part of Penang, Malaysia. I've been there before, twice already. First when I first came to Penang, and also the second time. Actually, that's where I stayed for the first time, and my second time in Penang, Malaysia. By this time, I stayed in Batu Ferringhi, which is a little bit far from Georgetown. So instead of taking the Grab, which is like Uber, I decided to take the bus. And for sure, they had the social distance and safety measures in place inside the bus. You're just not allowed to sit anywhere. Some of the seats, they have X on them, meaning that you can sit on them. And at the same time, the bus is not allowed to fill the bus to full capacity. And at one of the bus stops, there was a big group of people, and they were not allowed to enter the bus. And I think the bus is only allowed up to maybe half the capacity or 1/3 of the capacity. So that was pretty good. And all the passengers were wearing a mask, except for one kid. I guess it's not really required for you to wear a mask inside the bus. But for the most part, most of the people, they wear a mask, which is good. I probably would have got off the bus on the next stop if I had found out that not a lot of people were like wearing a mask. So that was good. There was just a little kid who was not wearing a mask, actually a teenager. Anyway, on June 9, they're gonna lift the lockdown up fully. So that means I can do interstate traveling. So for sure, I'm gonna go back to Kuala Lumpur to get my visa extension done. Hopefully the Malaysian government will extend my visa with a letter from the US Embassy asking them to extend it. In addition, I'm gonna have my fingerprints done for my FBI background check, and I can only do that at a police station in Kuala Lumpur, according to the US Embassy in KL. For most jobs here in Asia, I need to have a background check from the US. Not only that, I need to get that background check certified back in the US too. So it's gonna cost me a little bit of money, but there's no way around it. Anyway, I like this city, Penang. I wouldn't mind living over here, but unfortunately there's not a lot of jobs for foreigners here. If only I could stay here, that would be awesome, because it's a really nice city. It's not too big, it's not as crazy as most big cities. It's pretty laid back, it has a lot of nature and pretty good food. And you know, it's got like tall buildings too, just like any other cities. And it's got like a historical area, which is Georgetown. And that's Georgetown right there. And Penang has a lot of history, and you can see that when you visit Georgetown, where they have all the old buildings from its colonial past. Penang used to be a British colony, and I love the food over here. They got the Malaysian food, the Indian food, and the Chinese food, and Arabian food, Middle Eastern food, and that's great. I mean, you have a lot of choices in addition to Western food too. And this is one of my favorite places to go to. I think it's called Iced Kaichang, and Iced Kaichang is one of the Malaysian desserts, and it's really delicious. Another favorite Malaysian dessert I like is called Cendol or Cendol. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but you'll see it later. Anyway, even though all the businesses are allowed to open since May 4th, still not a lot of the businesses are open. Only a few of them are open. I don't know why. Maybe they haven't met the requirements yet, the safety requirements. That's why they're not open yet. Or maybe they're waiting until the full lifting of the lockdown begins on June 9th. Yeah, so it's very different now. Not like before the lockdown and the pandemic. It's less busy, not too many people, and not too many tourists. I think most of the hotels are not occupied by tourists anymore. Oh, this is a food court, and before you could enter the food court, you need to check in with a contact tracing app, or if you don't have that, sign your name with your phone number and get your body temperature check. That's what I'm having now. Then writing down my information since I didn't have the app, my name and my phone number for contact tracing. Oh, I did the same thing too at the other restaurant. I got my temperature read. I also had to leave my name and my phone number for contact tracing since I didn't have the app. But later on, I was able to download the app for contact tracing. So they got all the safety measures in place to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19. So that's pretty good. As for the food here in Penang, everybody should try getting the street food from like hawkers or food courts such as this. Later on, I will show you Cendol, which is one of my favorite Malaysian dessert. I think that's pronounced Cendol or Cendol, I forgot. Well, You'll see it, and I will have the spelling of the word for you. And since I already had lunch before I came to Georgetown, I just had desserts. And this is Cendol or Cendol, I don't know. Not sure about the pronunciation. And it's really delicious. It's one of my favorites. And I also had real coffee instead of instant coffee, which is a good thing. Now time to show you the old architecture from Penang's colonial past. And of course the tall buildings are not from the colonial past. Okay, this is like an old school from the 18th century. I think this one is. So is this one? And this. And here's the Chinese temple. I think Penang has a big Chinese Malaysian population. And there's also a lot of Indian Malaysians here too. I've been to their what you call like Indian town or something, like Chinatown, Indian town. And this street is pretty popular. A lot of tourists over here. But as you can see, right now, I guess there's none because of the lockdown and the pandemic, and still a lot of the businesses are closed. And this is like a street food place, but as you can see, they're open only for takeout. And also this street is usually crowded with tourists, but it's empty and all the businesses are closed. So now it's time for me to head back to Batu Ferringhi by bus again. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully you follow me so you get to see more upcoming videos and be able to see my trip from Penang back to Kuala Lumpur and how I deal with the visa extension request, and also getting my fingerprints done for my background check back in the US. And before I leave Penang, I'm pretty sure I'm still gonna be able to shoot more video of the city and talk more about it. Thanks a lot, and see you next time. For now, check out the rest of the video. Bye.